It always hurts more when you're invested, man. It's time to talk to that fake. Tenurzard couldn't have been the center of the dream because when her actual consciousness dropped out, the rest of the dream would have probably collapsed with it, wouldn't it? Oh. God, Sumer, this game is just so pretty sometimes.
It's Dunyarzad's puppet. Traveler? You must be exhausted. Come to think of it, we've been stuck in this place for a really, really long time. Heck, even the last time we were chatting happily with Dunyarzad feels like an eternity ago.
Oh. Oh. Look at her. Oh. That's really sad.
Paimon still remembers when we were sitting here, and the way her eyes sparkled when she talked about Nilou's dance of Sub-Zerus.
Can barely recall it now.
There will always be frustrations in life, but I know that the point of living is not to leave behind any regrets.
That's not something a puppet would say. Was it? Are you real?
That was what the real Dunyarzad said, wasn't it? Does that mean...
Dunyarzad? Is that you?
Yes,
Is it?
Traveler. What is it?
Oh. No. She's still gone.
So she's still just a puppet. But just now, how come... What? Where are we going this time?
We're going to watch the dance of Sub-Zero. And when that sage comes to interrupt it, we slash his throat. Or we just bonk him unconscious, as this game would probably have us do. The less murderous route. But, like, we could. We could just... You know, if he's not really here...
If you continue to resist, we will have to order an investigation into every single event organizer.
Do it.
The Grand Sage has already granted you much leniency. I advise that you exercise tact.
How did things turn out like this?
Tell him to choke on a dick. Do it, Nilu. But I'll do it. I'll kick his ass. Do the dance anyway.
Traveler? You don't have to get involved. He's a sage from the academia. I don't want to drag you into this.
Just because he's a sage doesn't mean he's not a bitch. You're a bitch, and I'll kick your ass right now. I'll kick your ass right now. I'll do it. They may arrest me, but they won't ever be able to undo what I do to you.
Traveler, what the heck are you doing? If you get arrested by the academia, that's another day gone to waste.
I mean... But it'll feel just so much better. Stop me then, coward.
Wait, they're not reacting. Have they been scared stiff?
They're puppets.
Oh, of course. If this is the sage's plan, they wouldn't put themselves through this. So they're just substitutes.
What is this? What happened to the Grand Sage and his entourage? Like I said, they symbolize the goddess of flowers. It's just a shame that all the real Padisaras went extinct after her death.
Yes. The Greater Lord brought forth new Padisaras in memory of the goddess of flowers. But she ultimately could never truly replicate that beautiful shade of purple.
And now they're purple. Nilu. Is it you?
That beautiful shade of purple. Aren't these flowers real Padisaras? Just like the ones from the legend? I didn't even notice. Dunyarzad, did you find these?
But didn't you just say all the real flowers went extinct after the goddess of flowers passed away? So, how?
Yeah. What's going on here?
It's Nilu.
Huh? You guys are acting weird. But okay,
Yeah, imagine that
I'll
they're not
try.
here.
Hey!
They disappeared! So Nilu's the host! What a surprise!
I wouldn't have guessed.
Purple Padisaras don't exist in the real world anymore. But in Nilu's subconscious, they can appear as decorations on the stage. It's just like the example Nahida
Were they
told us.
there the whole
People
time?
assumed
I never
there would
even
be
looked
food on a
over
plate,
here.
And Nilu assumed there would be real Padisaras in the flower pots. So when you saw the flowers, you instantly knew it was Nilu? But if we want to end the samsara, we need the host to become aware that they're dreaming. How should we make Nilu realize that?
Nilu, you're
Am I
dreaming.
dreaming?
Yes. Yes.
Huh?
We could just tell her. How did you come to the conclusion that we said you're dreaming when we said you're dreaming? Isn't that crazy?
So I'm right. Is this Lesser Lord Kusanali responding to our celebration of the Sabzeruz festival?
No.
Wrong guess, but you aren't completely wrong either. The point is, what made you think this is a dream? As far as you know, people in Sumeru don't dream, right?
Is she not from Sumeru?
Yeah, but have you heard the tale of the first sage? To prevent a calamity, he went on a journey to find the Dendro Archon.
Ooh, sounds familiar. Dunyarzad told us a story like that when we first arrived in Sumeru City. So it was about the first sage, huh?
Yep, but in the part you heard, he hadn't become the first sage yet. There's more to the story. His piety and wisdom were acknowledged by the Dendro Archon, and she finally gave her blessing to him. All kinds of spectacular scenes appeared in front of the first sage, as if all the knowledge in the world was being painted onto a canvas right before him. He was captivated. After who knows how long, he mastered all the knowledge he could comprehend. Afterward, he said to the Dendro Archon, "I miss my parents, my wife, and my children. I've been away from home for far too long. They must be worried." The Dendro Archon smiled. The next second, the sage found himself lying in his bed, as if he had just woken up from a dream. His wife, lying next to him, said, "You're off to search for the Dendro Archon today, aren't you? Have a safe journey, my love." In the end, the first sage took care of many disasters in Sumeru City and founded the Academia.
That's pretty good.
What a happy ending.
That's pretty good. The sages are pretty
the
great when
first
they're not
sage was
corrupt
dreaming
assholes.
Ever since the beginning of the story? He never went on his journey?
No, the dream was the journey.
Yes, but his faith and determination were conveyed to the Dendro Archon, so she blessed him in the form of a dream.
Paimon understands where you're coming from now. That's a really interesting connection. But we really gotta wake up soon, like the sage in the story.
I see. Well, it just so happens that today's Sub-Zero's festival is almost over too.
Yes, but it's been almost over for like a month, girl.
Since we're in a dream, let's make this final dance of Sub-Zero's as beautiful as we can.
I have been waiting a long time for this. Hell yeah, dancey time. Oh. Oh, wow.
The wait is over, everyone. I dedicate this to our god, the dance of Sub-Zero's.
Oh.
I'd be lying if I said I had no regrets. I would have loved to see Nilou's dance.
Aw. Oh. Oh, there she is. That was gorgeous. They are getting so good with their cutscenes. And they're even better in Honkai Star Rail.
Oh, good morning, traveler. Oh, Paimon feels like she's been asleep for the longest time.
Good morning, Paimon.
Paimon's
Hopefully
head
it's
feels
tomorrow.
super heavy. Did we oversleep? Do you even remember going to sleep last night?
Do they not remember?
Paimon thinks
Anything?
it was after the Sub-Zero's festival. The Sub-Zero's festival!
The Sub-Zero's festival.
Escape from the Sub-Zero Samsara?
Oh, we might have. Are we out?
Quick! Take off your Akasha terminal!
At the end of the Sub-Zero's festival, I think I saw. Is she? Is she just unconscious in here? Or is she...
She's not in her room. What happened?
Well, I think we know what happened.
What usual spot?
The bench? Is the bench? Is she here? But her consciousness disappeared. And even Nahida said she feels bad letting her most devout follower die. Is she not dead? Oh my god! She's sitting up.
Well done, traveler and Paimon.
Catherine? Question mark?
And thank you, Dunyarzad, for organizing the Sub-Zero's festival for me.
I'm
She-
sorry, who are...
Dunyarzad!
Oh my god, she's alive! She's alive! Oh my god, she's alive! Oh, thank god!
Traveler Paimon. I have something amazing to tell you.
Oh?
I just had a dream, and I saw Nilou performing the dance of Sub-Zerus.
Also, Catherine, is the Dendro Archon speaking through you? Because that's not your voice, Catherine.
You're actually Nahida, aren't you? Paimon felt like Catherine was acting weird when we met at the Sub-Zerus festival. And Dunyarzad, did you save her?
How did you save her?
It's a really long story. We shouldn't disturb her. Her consciousness is still weakened. Let's chat somewhere else. How about by the Traveler's favorite bench?
So we're going back to the bench, baby. Look at that. I have a trademark bench in this game. How are you feeling, Dunyarzad? I'm so glad you're here.
Why are you two so excited to see me? Hasn't it only been a night?
It's actually been
It
much
feels so
longer than
much
that.
longer.
Oh? Strange. Was I really asleep that long? No wonder I have such a headache.
I'm just so happy to see you. Don't worry about it. Oh, I'm so glad she's not dead. That would have been straight up the greatest tragedy. But honestly, would not be surprised. Hoyoverse as a company have a history of killing off main characters. So, you know, if they killed her off, I wouldn't have been surprised. I'm surprised they haven't killed off, like, a playable character yet.
Keep up.
Because they've done that before. Just not this game.
Let's talk about Dunyarzad first. It's such a relief that she's all right.
After we parted on the last day of the Sub-Zerus festival, I left the city and saw what the Traveler had described. Among the countless dreams, I found one that was growing fainter and fainter. This proved my suspicion. Once Dunyarzad could no longer bear the Akasha harvesting her dreams, her consciousness began to dissipate. But this also meant it escaped the Akasha's control. Such a small fragment of consciousness can't last for very long, though. It will return to its original dream, where both will gradually fade until they completely disappear. I used all the power I had to keep her dying dream alive as long as possible, but it still wouldn't have lasted for much longer if it hadn't been for you two breaking the samsara.
So it looks like we did manage to save Dunyarzad in the end. And not a moment too soon.
Huh?
I am
Why
so
are you two
happy.
smiling so happily? I thought you'd be so moved that you'd start crying.
I'm not crying, you're crying.
I need to spend more time observing human emotions.
I'm not crying, you're
Also
crying.
fine. Everyone reacts differently.
All right, you two must have a lot of other questions for me, right? After all, you saved my faithful believer. As your reward, I will answer any and all questions.
At the Avidia Forest, there was this incense that made the traveler fall unconscious and dream of a huge tree and a red sky.
You also heard someone's voice, right? It said world and forget me.
Yeah, so you do know! We've been wanting to ask you what that was about, and if the red sky was related to Conria.
Is it?
It seems like the Traveler established a connection to Irminsul. That was a message left by Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's residual consciousness in Irminsul. Perhaps her last memory before she died. As you
Interesting.
two probably know, Greater Lord Rukkhadevata disappeared after the disaster in Conria. The timings of these events do line
Maybe,
up,
maybe.
so your suspicions
Hi,
are
Phoenix.
reasonable.
How you doing? We
message
just
from
escaped
Greater
a
Lord Rukkhadevata?
dream,
We thought it was from
a
King
very
Deshret.
long and awful dream.
King Deshret?
That god who died even longer ago? Some present-day desert dwellers still worship him. You probably just heard some of their conspiracies. Okay, so what does the message mean? I still haven't managed to decipher it. Even the Akasha isn't currently capable of doing that.
I'm glad you got home safely. And yes, you should definitely go get some food.
Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's residual consciousness in Irminsul seems to be contaminated with something that has a very dangerous aura to it.
Oh. Fire?
Devoted scholars
Burn
go
the tree?
mad as soon as they connect their consciousness. I've warned the academia about this many times, but people still keep falling victim to it. But I believe this is the key to saving Irminsul. That's why I've kept trying to decipher it.
She keeps saying to forget
so the
me.
tree in the vision was Irminsul?
Get rid of that.
Oh, Tainari also said that Irminsul is sick. Is it because of the contaminated consciousness?
She mentioned the fox boy.
But even if you can't figure out what that vision was all about, it seems like our search for you was all in vain. The traveler wasn't affected after coming in contact with that consciousness. I've never seen anyone like that. With you here, we may have a chance at deciphering it. No, we must decipher its secrets. I've already eliminated all other factors that might affect Irminsul.
This part of the story is very interesting.
This puzzle has life and death at stake. It could determine Irminsul's fate, as well as Tevat's.
Yeah, why are you talking through Catherine?
To be accurate, I'm using the Akasha as a medium to occupy Catherine's consciousness.
You just hacked in.
How did you do that? Poor Catherine.
It's fine,
Does
Catherine's
that
a
mean
robot.
you can also occupy other people's consciousnesses? Theoretically, I can enter anyone's mind as long as they're wearing their Akasha terminal. The Akasha is the legacy of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. As
Interesting.
Lesser Lord Kusanali and the first Akasha terminal, my consciousness has always been linked to the Akasha. I've always respected my people's free will, so I've never actually occupied their consciousness. When necessary, I just borrow this bionic Snezhnayan puppet. Hold on. Did we just learn some dark secrets?
I knew.
So Catherine is...
I could have told you that the
No.
whole time.
No wonder Paimon felt something was off about her. What about your own body? Why do you need to borrow other people's?
You just casually
Don't you
dropped that
live
she's
in
a
the
puppet.
sanctuary of Surasthana?
I like to casually
That
drop
story
that Albedo
begins
is a
a long
homunculus.
time ago.
What?
After Greater Lord Rukkhadevata disappeared, the sages found my newly born self and took me back to Sumeru. At that time, I was young and weak. The sages kept me in the sanctuary of Surasthana, ostensibly for the sake of protecting me. But I've hardly heard from them since. However, I do understand that they had hoped to find Greater Lord Rukkhadevata instead of me, a symbol of her passing. So, the sages basically put their new Archon under house arrest? How dare they! Why don't you teach them a lesson, Nahida? In some ways, they aren't wrong. Greater Lord Rukkhadevata was omniscient and omnipotent. Even after her death, the Akasha is still empowering this nation. And I'm still really far away from being able to call myself the God of Wisdom. Moreover, the Academia is also more proficient at Yeah, you got a lot of believers. Just look at the Sub-Zero's festival.
I really can't believe they
Everyone
really
who
chose
showed up
now
truly
to
loves
really
you.
just casually drop that about Catherine. I still can't believe.
Thank you for the kind words. But I honestly don't need physical freedom as long as I can connect my consciousness to the Akasha. Trying to find a way to save Irminsul is my life's mission and top priority. I will work on that and try to live up to being a deity in the meantime. Every once in a while, I will also take up the duties of the God of Wisdom and enlighten a lost soul here and there. Doing all that should be enough.
Interesting. Nobody has realized that their, like, information thing is stealing their dreams and it's like being controlled by them? Like, nobody noticed that.
You mean how the Akasha stops you from having dreams? Yeah, it's been such a long time. No one's noticed something's up? It's not that no one noticed. It's more like no one cared. Ultimately, it's all rooted in the sage's misdirection.
Fucking
Misdirection?
what? What?
The sages convinced everyone to believe that being unable to dream is a sign of rationality and wisdom. Not dreaming is a badge of honor in Sumeru.
Oh, fucking
Even
Christ.
if the truth is that their
The
dreams
propaganda.
are being leaked by the Akasha. With their propaganda in place, the sages can maximize their use of the Akasha to facilitate their research.
Why? But why are you stealing
Besides,
dreams?
Greater Lord
What could you
Rukkhadevata
use them
must
for?
have created the Akasha in the hopes that it could be used to its full potential. That's why I've never come out strongly against this. Anyway, the perspective advocated by the sages drowned out any voices of doubt. By now,
Burn
even
them.
those who never use Akasha terminals find it too shameful and embarrassing to talk about their dreams. Got it. I hope my answers were satisfactory, seekers of knowledge. To be honest, maintaining Dunyarzad's fading dream took a lot of mental energy. I think I may need to rest for a while.
Yeah, it's okay.
And you don't need to worry too much about the sage's activities for now. The Akasha won't be able to conduct another project on the scale of the Sub-Zero Samsara in the immediate future.
You don't know that.
Go and get some sleep. Leave everything to us. What a relief.
Yeah, you should let me know where you're at so that when I start Molotoving things, it's not the building that you're in, you know? So you should just tell me which one you're in so I don't attack that one.
Traveler? Paimon? Why am I here? Do either of you know?
Nope, no idea. You just been chilling.
Maybe you were sleepwalking. You know you can't wake up a sleepwalker. We happened to walk by, so we thought we'd wait for you to wake up.
I see. Huh. I should visit my maintenance personnel sometime. Oh, I'm
I mean,
fine.
she's got a keyhole
I
in her
better
back.
go.
If you
Thank
didn't
you.
pick up that she's not human from that alone and how she speaks sometimes, like what?
We've spent quite some time in Sumeru City, but ever since we last said goodbye to Lesser Lord Kusanali, we haven't heard anything from her.
We just said goodbye to her 2 seconds ago.
We can't just keep waiting around like this. Let's go find Catherine and pick up some work so we can at least keep ourselves busy.
It's been 2 seconds. Chill the fuck out. Huh, bird.
Ad Astra Avisask. We meet again, you two.
Hello, Catherine.
Hi, Catherine. Do you have any commissions for us today?
Commissions, huh? Let me think. Oh, how about this? Please attend the Academia's Academic Symposium this afternoon and recite a love poem on stage.
Wait, say what now?
No.
And if possible, please also use your camera to capture the reaction of the audience upon finishing the poem.
No.
What kind of commission is that?
Yeah, how do I get paid for that? This better have a good riz.
I see. It appears that you're not interested in this commission.
Who submitted this commission?
In that case, please go to Port Ormos and convince the Eremites there to spend some time volunteering at the local orphanage.
Hey, that's not
What?
any better.
Mercenaries and orphans really don't go together. Actually, they might go together, but not in the way that you think. It feels like one might lead to the other. Who's to say which direction is which, though?
I'm I'm sure the mercenaries will have some interesting reactions as well.
Paimon's gotta ask. Just who exactly has been submitting these commissions to the Adventurers Guild?
Yes.
Oh, the commissioner? Well, actually, I just wanted to see the two of you in action.
Nahida.
Was it so obvious? I was hoping you would actually take one of those commissions. That kind of chance to observe humans doesn't come by often.
You wanted me to look
So it's Nahida.
stupid. Nahida, how could you?
Crack those kinds of jokes. When did you get into her head?
The second we walked up, huh?
From when she said, "Ad Astra Abysosk." So it's been you this whole time?
Fucking sneaky. Sneaky, sneaky.
Are you done resting up, Nahida? Yes. I've been sleeping ever since we parted ways, and I even had a really, really long dream.
Wow, she dreamed for a whole minute? You don't know how long that could be in dream time. That's probably years. You don't even know.
It was another dream about the Sub-Zero's festival, except it was a happy one.
Oh, that's
In
good.
my dream, I was sitting in the middle of a flower terrace, and everyone in Sumeru City was holding hands as they danced in circles around me. They
Aw.
danced round and round, and everyone looked really happy. I also got to sit on a gigantic flower carriage. Ferris, the Knight of Flowers, raised me really, really high above the ground, and I was throwing an endless amount of Yalda candies at the children. You know, Nahida, maybe your dream is how the Sub-Zero's festival really should be. It's meant to be a joyous time where everyone gets together to celebrate your birthday.
It should be. But instead.
Huh? Wasn't I describing a really happy dream? Why are you both looking at me like that? Wait, could this be an example of the emotion known as pity?
It's the emotion known as pity.
Pitying you. That would only make everything worse. We just don't want you to feel too sad. By the way, have you had a chance to visit Dunyarzad? How's she doing? The Homianis haven't allowed any visitors after the festival, so we haven't been able to check on her. Yes, I paid her a visit right after I woke up. She was resting at the time. Her condition is stabilized. However, since Elazar is a manifestation of the withering on the human body, we can only cure it by finding a way to take care of Irminsul's own withering. But for the moment, our top focus should still be figuring out what the sages are up to and what they're planning. Right. Who knows what'll happen if they manage to pull off another scheme like the Samsara of the Sub-Zero's festival? So our first priority should be investigating and putting a stop to the sages' activities. As for how we should pull that off, let's discuss it somewhere else. There are too many adventurers around here. Oh, good point. Sorry, adventurers. We're gonna be borrowing Catherine for a little while.
Like, were you taking the help desk, lady? Don't worry about it. Going on an adventure.
Let's continue our chat here. Okay, so do you have any ideas on how we can investigate the sages, Nahida? Actually, I've already done a little bit of work on that. But for now, I want to hear your thoughts.
Arson. Arson is always my thought. Possess a key figure in the academia?
I've already tried that. But all the key members of the academia, even the core of 30 guards, intentionally avoid wearing their Akasha terminals. It seems that from the very beginning, they've been guarding against info leaks from the Akasha. Of course, it could also be because they're wary of me. Have you already caught the sage's attention? I'm guessing not yet. But distrusting me would make perfect sense if they've ever paid attention to the urban legends about me. In any case, I probably can't take over their minds directly. We're in the dark as of now. Since we still don't know anything about their goals, any rash move could tip them off and lead to terrible consequences. After all, every person in Sumeru City is one of their hostages.
That's right, they got the whole thing.
No way, that's too risky. You mean it'd be too easy to get caught? No, it's not that. We shouldn't involve innocent students in this. A single mistake could completely ruin their lives.
You're right.
Doing that would be ignoring the safety of my people for my own selfish goals. How is that any different from what the sages are doing? That's a good point. Spoken like the god of Sumeru. Are we really out of ideas? Nahida, you're super smart, so you already have something in mind, right?
Getting sleepy
Don't
just a
keep
little
us in
bit.
suspense. Spill the beans already. According to a popular theory from the Vahumana Darshan of the Academia, rejecting impractical motions at the beginning of a planning session will give more weight to the actual proposal. Okay, but aren't you the god of wisdom? You don't have to use that kind of gimmick to make us take your ideas seriously.
Yeah, that is true.
Well, I've been thinking that if I can't directly possess the leaders, and if I can't get ordinary people involved,
You're gonna get
then
us
I
involved?
should find someone who's already involved, but hasn't decided to side with the sages.
Who's that?
You're saying we should recruit a spy?
Is it a particularly
That does sound
handsome
like it could
scribe
work.
you're thinking about?
Oh, before coming back, we met someone
Huh?
named Alhaitham. He seems like he acts alone.
That suddenly
And
I'm
likes doing
so
stuff
much more
behind the
awake and
Academia's back. They
I'm
probably
so
aren't in
I'm ready
cahoots.
to continue the rest of this
Actually,
mission.
I already have someone in mind. Do you still remember that female
Oh.
scholar named Sataria?
I'm less interested.
Sataria. Paimon remembers now. Isn't she the one who's always trailing behind the Grand Sage of the Academia? We ran into her basically every time the Sub-Zero's festival repeated itself. You could even say we're old enemies by now. Paimon still remembers the smug and mean way she always spoke to Nilu. I've always liked observing all kinds of people, and Sataria has always stood out from the crowd.
But is that a good thing though?
She was born in the desert and was hailed as their greatest genius. Her academic gifts allowed her special admission into the academia, and also gave her the opportunity to serve as the sage's assistant. Oh, Paimon didn't know she was from the desert. She must be pretty special then. Paimon feels like most of the desert dwellers around the city are working as mercenaries. The name Sataria means star. When she lived in the desert, she shone like the brightest star
Oh,
in the night
that's so
sky.
nice.
Later on, she was chosen by the sun. The star was given a place in the daytime sky to complement the sun's dazzling light. Soon after,
Interesting.
the star witnessed the sun scorching the earth, which brought forth many disasters. The star began to waver. Instead of staying beside such a sun, wouldn't it be better to return and light up part of the night sky? But in the end, she couldn't give up the radiance of daytime. To cope with her shame, the star buried her guilt and closed her eyes.
Those are her true thoughts, so she knows what they're doing and feels guilty about it, but she doesn't want to give up what being associated with the academia, the benefits that she gets from those.
From the sound of it, Sataria's just hung up on the research opportunities here. But she doesn't really support the academia. She still feels guilty about not doing more for the desert, right? She's just running away from her problems.
Yeah, you don't want to ever run away from your problems.
When they are presented with complex moral issues, many people will simply plug their ears and go with the flow until the problem can't be fixed anymore.
Yeah, fair.
She's suppressing a lot of guilt, but before she realized it, she had already become the sage's accomplice. She can't deny her part in their schemes anymore.
Yeah, she's kind of stuck.
Right. We must somehow make her face her problems again. That way, not only can we get useful intel from her, but she can also use it as an opportunity to redeem herself. From my past observations, Cetaria will take a day off from the academia every 10 days to do some shopping in the city. Tomorrow afternoon just happens to be a shopping day for her. That'll be our chance. To prepare, let's go check out some of her favorite spots, and have a quick chat with a few of the vendors there.
Uh-huh. Have a talk with the vendors. So we should just kind of be like, hey girl, what's up?
This should be Cetaria's favorite fortune-telling spot. So should we
Oh,
ask
I'm
the
sorry.
fortune teller
Did
about
you come in with a
Cetaria?
grand sage before and say that,
No,
like,
I already have
music and
enough
dancing was a waste of
information on
time, but you
Cetaria.
believe in
The
fortune
most
telling?
important thing now is for you to pay attention to the vendor's talking style and key characteristics. Talking style and key characteristics?
Oh, I'm gonna have to fucking repeat this back.
Lost lambs, have you become troubled over your fates?
Yo, you got
Divine
two
voice of
cats.
wisdom often
That's a good
echoes
number of
between
cats.
mine ears. If thou be blessed today by the gods, I may be able to show you the way.
Huh? Really? Nahida, you've been whispering things to her?
And she's like, no.
Shh. My friend here has some doubts regarding her future. Can we get a fortune reading for her?
Uh-huh.
Of course, of course. In that case,
Cat. It's just her cat. They don't have names.
it would seem that Harut and Marut are quite wary of you.
Harut and Marut!
Perhaps
They have
at
names.
some time in the past, you have somehow offended the gods.
Oh shit, how'd they know?
Only mocking the god of Animo, questioning the lord of Geo's financial savviness, and brawling with the god of Electro. Do those count?
I don't think so. No, I don't.
Nothing.
Definitely
Go
could
on.
not have done
You can ask
anything
that for her
wrong.
to divine.
Divine my prospects in love.
Love prospects? No problem at all.
Certain fox boy or alchemist or scribe, maybe? Maybe?
The gods have spoken.
Oh?
The truth shall be revealed.
Ooh.
One who is fated to cross your path will appear on... Huh?
Oh.
So many people will fall for you.
Oh.
How could that be?
Oh, man.
Marut, Marut, did you two spoil my divination? I've never read a fortune so absurd.
Oh? Meow?
Actually, Paimon thinks this is probably the most accurate fortune-telling you've ever done.
Oh. Oh. All of them?
I admit
Oh
that
my.
the orientation of today's celestial matrix is suboptimal. As such, there will be no charge.
Is that so? Well, that can't be helped.
If you were to bring some food offerings for Harut and Marut on your next visit, perhaps they could help you reverse the wheels of fate.
I got some fish right here. I got some fish. Oh, investigate? Oh. Oh, that's not what I just robbed them. I wonder which cat is which. She said Harut and Marut. Look at how tiny the white one is. Look at how big the black one is. Big kitty.
I've never seen Harut and Marut be so wary of anyone.
Yeah. Your cats don't like me, man. So what you're saying is all the people that I've collected love me.
Is this another
That's good
one
shit.
of Cetaria's favorite stalls? Yep. It belongs
Famously
to a king.
not a cat person here.
His father helped Sataria a lot when she first moved to Samari City, so she still comes by whenever she has time. When I start talking with him, listen carefully to the details of our conversation.
Ah, dear
Sup?
customers. Would you like to look at some pottery?
We caught wind of your
Sure.
great craftsmanship, so we specifically came to take a look.
Uh-huh.
I recognize you. Aren't you Miss Catherine from the Adventurers Guild? Sounds like I'm in for some big business.
Speaking of,
Speaking
where
of
did you
big,
learn this trade?
what up with that piece
I
of pottery
suppose
behind
could
you?
say
That
it
is
all
pretty
started
big.
with my dad. He's a mason by trade, but I picked up an interest in clay while apprenticing for him. After that, I began making pottery by myself in secret. And I simply changed trades when my works turned out well. Although it's a pity that I'm no longer making much use of the knowledge provided to me by the Akasha.
That's nice. You're making a living doing
Look
something
at
you love.
you! Having fun making
So is your
pottery
father
stuff.
still working as a mason?
Oh no, not anymore. A few years back, he fell from a roof and broke his leg. Since he had already saved enough Mora over all these years, he's just enjoying the retired life in Port Ormos nowadays.
Oh,
I see.
why was he on the
We'll wish him
roof?
peace and happiness in his retirement. I'll have someone in charge of logistics at the guild come by another day for some goods. We'll leave you to it. Take care now.
No, I want that big ass pot
No
in the
problem.
back. Give it to
Rest
me.
easy, all our goods are sure to meet your every
Give it to me. I want the giant pot. Do it. I have so much money. I want this one. I want it. I want that one. Can I buy it?
That was my first time talking with Miss Catherine. I'm sure I sounded a bit nervous.
It's fine. I want this. Give this to me.
This should be our final stop. Sataria's always thinking of this restaurant when she's working at the academia, so she always comes by whenever she's out in the city. Nahida, you've really thought of everything.
Just get it delivered, forehead.
It's my duty to protect Samari's citizens, after all.
Hi there. I feel like I've seen you down by the docks before.
Huh? Sorry, I don't quite remember.
Uh-huh.
If I recall, you were having a discussion with someone about shipbuilding at the time.
That's right! I've always been really interested in feats of marine engineering. After all, I grew up in Liyue Harbor and spent my entire childhood staring at the ships going in and out of the port. I came to Sumeru to study, but failed to make it into the academia.
It's okay.
due to
You
my
don't need
lack
to go
of
in
talent.
there. I
But
heard the higher
I'm
ups
still
are
discussing
assholes.
all kinds of problems with different
You don't need to be there.
scholars. And I'm continuing to study and perform research from the restaurant's basement. I'm sure I'll get to the academia after their next round of exams.
What an admirable spirit for learning. Amazing.
Sure, but you'll find hardworking people wherever you go.
It's true.
So this restaurant has a basement as well? Huh. First I've heard of it.
Interesting.
That's right. It's not usually open to patrons. Most of the time, employees use it for breaks or to hold private events.
Yeah, that makes
I
sense.
see. Yes, that makes sense. Well, good luck with your studies, Miss Chishan.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much. As long as I can make it into the academia as an official student, I'll be happy.
Listen, I already looked at the stuff that you could learn there, and I wouldn't be trying to get into there because they're all so boring. All the topics that they have are so boring. It's not even interesting to learn.
So, was that everybody? Mm-hmm. 3 familiar faces should be enough for Sataria. What's the point of all the information we've collected?
Yeah, why are we...
Nahida, you still haven't told us how you're planning to make Sataria face her problems.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sataria is already used to avoiding her problems, so we must find a way to break through her usual sensibilities. I remember you mentioned that the Eremites in Port Ormuz are all making a fuss about the upcoming resurrection of King Deshret.
Yeah, shouldn't we be talking more about that? Because they're talking about resurrecting a supposed old god, and yet everyone's like, yeah, they're just gonna do that, it's whatever. And I'm like, no, what do you mean you're bringing... What do you mean you're gonna resurrect him? Hold on.
Although it's
Like,
all
actually?
just a boatload of nonsense, the fate of her homeland may turn out to be Sataria's soft spot.
Oh, so it's not real. Okay, so they're actually just bullshitting. Okay.
Oh, Paimon gets it now! You want to take advantage of the guilt Sataria feels about her homeland.
Uh-huh.
Although she knows she should return home to help the people of the desert, all she's done is conspire with the sages.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we set that up? Well, King Deshret is long gone, and Sataria is also too smart to fall for any simple tricks. If we simply engaged her under the guise of King Deshret's believers, she would definitely be wary of us, and we may not get anywhere.
You're true. What should we do then?
But if we were to borrow some of her close acquaintances to talk with her, her reaction would probably be very different.
Borrow? So you're going to borrow
possess
from
those
me.
people we just talked to? Yep. Possess them through the Akasha. Imply they've already converted to the faith of King Deshret, and then convey our made-up will of King Deshret.
Oh.
As long as everything goes smoothly, we'll get through to Sataria for sure. She'll never guess that we had anything to do with it.
Oh.
So that's how you're going to use all the info we collected on these people. It's so that you won't slip up and break form. Possessing them will only work if you can manage to pass off as them.
Exactly. That's really cool. I like that.
With impersonating them.
Wait. What do you...
Best of luck.
What? What do you mean? No. Hang on.
That's
Me?
no problem at all. I'll just share all their senses with you once I've possessed them.
That's...
As long as you're also wearing an Akasha terminal.
But then why
the effect will
bother?
basically be as if you've possessed them yourself. Huh. That is pretty convenient. But why does she have to do this? Can't you do it yourself?
Yeah, why can't you do it yourself?
Although I've been observing humans for a while, I've never been good at imitating them. You're not wrong. It's always been painfully obvious whenever you try to pass as Catherine.
Yeah, but that's also because you're not trying to pass as Catherine. Fuck.
If it was at all possible, I would have preferred to leave these people alone. But seeing how things are now, I probably should just accept it and push on.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't beat yourself up over it. We're only doing this to help everyone, and we'll only be borrowing them for a little while anyway. Alright, then let's give it a go tomorrow afternoon.
Alright, let's see. To the clock. I forgot entirely what the time frame was. It was between noon and 1800. Okay. Put a little afternoon. I love this clock animation. I'm so glad we got to see it in a cutscene. You only see it here. And it's such a shame. It's really cool, like, gears and galaxies and stars happening in it. It's very nice. Very calming. But, what happens to suck is whenever you click off of it, it, like, sounds like somebody face planted onto a piano. Or it's like, oh. It's always jarring. Look at the cute Tidari! Good boy. It disappeared. No wonder he's so shook. I love the new voice of Tighnari. So cute. Oh, the following afternoon. This is today. Hold on. There we go. Back to the clock animation. Plus you get to literally see the time pass, like, in the map. It's really nice. Exactly, I get to see the clock again. It's fine. Oh, God. Hold on. An achievement? Oh, Wonders of the World. This is for the story quest, right? Claim all these shit. Nice. Shockingly, I don't have a lot of these achievements, mostly because I don't put that much effort in. Yes, we must look at the clock again. It's how we move time forward sometimes. How you doing, Grim? Good to see you. This one, it lets you move, like, time forward. Here, like, I'll move it, like, a little bit. I'll move it a couple minutes. Ta-da! It's so nice. I'd zoom in on it, but it's like, it's got galaxies and cool gears and stuff. Alright, now we're gonna possess people. I'm doing good. This Genshin storyline is actually really interesting.
Oh,
I think
here
they've
she
gotten
comes.
better with the
Let's
storytelling.
quietly follow her. Once she starts talking to her acquaintances, we'll find a safe spot to begin possessing them. As for how we'll sway her to our side, I'll leave that to you. I trust you'll know what to say.
You shouldn't trust that. I never know what to say at any given moment. I'm
Looks
so
like
bad
they've
at
already
this.
started talking. Let's find a hiding spot and get started.
Why does she sound like her lungs are about to give out? Me? Because it's true. Her, she's supposed to sound like a child. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
That's right. You really can't force anything when it
Oh.
comes to love. And besides, everyone around me has a very different background and outlook.
Oh. I'm the child.
Are you still listening to me, Nabia?
What?
Oh, of course I'm listening. You were talking about troubles with your love life, right? I heard everything you said.
Okay then. You just seemed a little distracted for a moment there.
Oh fuck, her cats know. Her cats know. That's Ruby's
Strange.
VA.
Your cats seem pretty worked up. Is something wrong?
Satara?
I always thought
Or
they
the
were
child.
quiet, happy kitties. Oh, what are their names again?
It's Harut and Marut?
Ah, that's right. They are just little darlings, aren't they? Harut and Marut.
Oh, she gets to pet the cat, but I don't get to pet the cat.
So,
That's bullshit.
which fortune do you want me to read for you today? You must have
She
come
might
for
be.
another echo of
You could
the
look up
divine
for
voice of wisdom.
Nabia. Yeah, look it up, Nabia Genshin, and then see if I
I'd
can
like
find
to
the
get
voice.
another reading on my love prospects, but to be perfectly honest with you, I feel like I've been a real mess recently.
A mess?
A mess? Interesting.
Well, could you do a reading on how long it'll take me to finish my current project at work? I really just want to get it over with.
I hear you. No problem at all. The gods will reveal the truth.
The gods know. The gods know what you've done.
The gods are asking. Sitaria, why haven't you gone home?
Why haven't I gone home? Do the gods really know everything I've been thinking about?
They know what
Sitaria,
you've done.
why don't you just go home? It's a demand now instead of a question. The gods seem to be truly upset.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, they don't like you.
I know I failed
Every
the
god
gods.
out there
Please pass on
don't
my
like
most
you.
sincere
All of
apologies
them.
and ask for their divine forgiveness. And if I may ask, Nabia, is there a specific god who's speaking to you right now?
Yeah, the god of none of your business.
What an inconsiderate and naive question. The god who is speaking to me is, of course, the wisest and mightiest of all.
Oh, it's not
King
her? But
Deshret.
I see what you mean. It does sound
King
similar.
Deshret? No wonder he would make such demand of me. Huh. Wait a second. King Deshret passed away a long time ago. Even though news of King Deshret's resurrection has been spreading like wildfire, it's all just a misinformation campaign from the academia. How can King Deshret still exist in real life?
King Deshret's resurrection is a misinformation campaign. Interesting. The academia, the source where everybody gets their knowledge from and trusts, is lying and manipulating. Who would have guessed?
Insolence. I am King Deshret's most loyal believer. Do you wish to refute his voice of wisdom?
Oh, Lindsay
no.
Jones is
As
that.
a child of the desert, I am only reveling in his power upon learning that his divine glory has touched even this city. I will think very carefully about his demand of me. I'm sorry. I must go now.
Wait!
I'm probably gonna go to sleep after stream because I have a work meeting tomorrow.
Ooh, she just ran off in a hurry. She looked
But
pretty
have fun in
upset, too.
VR.
Well done. Sataria didn't seem to suspect anything amiss. To have something she's been trying desperately to
Thanks,
avoid
Grim.
show up out of nowhere and berate her.
And I appreciate
That
the
must
lurk. You have
shaken
fun
her
in
to the
VR.
core. Aw, Nahida, it seems like you understand human emotions really well after all. All I know are some abstract Harvard-taught theories. And in any case, my time with you has shown a
fuck
lot
is
of things to be
Harvard-taught?
utterly useless.
It's one of the
I'm still
the
trying to make
sections
sense
of the
everything.
academia.
Anyway, enough of that. Let's hurry and catch up to Sataria.
Yeah, we gotta commit more
Now, right on cue. Let's get ready
more
to
manipulation.
It's okay. I just got caught up in something.
Uh-huh.
Oh, actually, didn't you ask me to help you look for work? What kind of work were you looking for again?
The masonry.
Oh, right. Your old man's craft.
I
How
remembered.
could I forget? Speaking of, how's he doing? Is he feeling any better?
He's feeling he can walk more now.
Oh, that's good to hear. I have been thinking a lot about him. If I could get some more time off, I'd love to pay him a visit.
Uh-huh.
Actually, while we're talking about him, is he still living in Port Ormos?
He
Yeah,
is
he's been retired there for a while.
If you could find the time, please write him a letter. Let him know that recently, faith in King Deshret has taken root in Port Ormos and has begun to spread across Sumeru. He has a quick temper and has always been a devout follower of the Dendro Archon. I don't want him to get into a fight with those King Deshret believers because of a difference in beliefs.
Oh? So, who are you siding with in all of this? The Academia or King Deshret?
Which one?
I'm so jealous of you. You were born a child of the desert, yet you chose
This
to betray King
kinda sounds like
Deshret,
Death the Kid.
And now you spend all your time with those crooks from the Academia.
Akeem, you don't mean... You've also become a believer of King Deshret?
Uh-huh.
What's so strange about becoming a believer of the wise King Deshret? In fact, aren't you the strange one? The one who still can't pick a side?
Yeah.
Can't
A
pick a side?
loser.
Me?
Whoa! Paimon had no idea you'd be so good at this.
She'll never emotionally recover from that.
issue and put it right in front of her. It might feel a bit overwhelming for Sataria. But once everything is over, I'll be sure to pay her a visit to her mind and explain everything. Anyway, let's keep going. Come on! Sataria's already started talking what she...
Oh, what happened? Oh, we already... I took like 2 steps.
Shishan, have you noticed anything weird in the city lately?
No, that's how you say her name.
Like,
I wasn't listening the last time.
As if someone was trying to preach to you about something?
No, I've been spending all my time studying in the basement.
Oh, right. I celebrated the Sub-Zerus festival so many times that I lost count. That was really weird.
Wait,
Huh?
how could you be aware of that? That should be impossible. Nothing in the report indicated anything like that.
Oh?
Are you still failing to realize that the Academia's lowly tricks could never deceive all of Sumeru's citizens?
Oh, we're really fucking with her mind on this one.
Shishan, don't tell me that you've converted to King Deshret as well.
What an absurd question. You make it sound like I should be ashamed for becoming a believer of King Deshret.
Oh?
In reality, shouldn't you be the one who is ashamed? You, who works side by side with the Academia and treated people as nothing more than experimental subjects?
Duh.
Please, please stop!
Oh, we really ramping up the psychological torture now.
Sataria's still trying to run from her problems. She can no longer justify everything to herself. Hey, she's trying to talk to the guards! What should we do? This is the most important part of all. Quick, get ready.
Oh, shit.
Mercenary, you're a member of the Corps of 30, correct? Please help me pass a message to the Matra right away. The situation in the city is getting out of control.
Please, try to remain calm, miss. Tell me what's happening in the city.
Take over her.
Heretics are infiltrating the city, and they've already converted many residents to their side.
Heretics? What kind of heresy are you talking about?
King Deshret! Many people I know have suddenly started believing in him, but he's long
Oh?
dead. It's impossible.
Oh?
Miss Sataria, nothing is impossible.
You know my name?
Oh.
King Deshret is immortal, and all who defy him will one day pay the price.
Oh, fuck.
You must face the
Oh,
truth,
fuck.
Sataria. You
Oh my
tread
God.
a treacherous path, and the longer you ignore it, the tighter the Academia's grasp on you will become, and the deeper you will be ensnared. Child of King Deshret, never forget that the desert that belongs to you lies elsewhere.
What's so strange about becoming a believer of the wise King Deshret? In fact, aren't you the strange one? The one who still can't pick a side?
What an absurd question. You make it sound like I should be ashamed for becoming a believer of King Deshret.
Sataria, why haven't you gone home?
Oh, yeah, we're
Seems that
really
no
fucking
matter
with this
where
girl.
I run, I only keep finding more believers of King Deshret. I have to say, this is a familiar feeling. I've also been running from my guilt this whole time. Guilt over my part in the Sage's plans, and from ignoring the letters from the children of my homeland. But no matter how much I may try to ignore or get rid of it, my guilt always comes back.
You won't necessarily lose your research opportunities by facing the truth. Besides, did you really want to conduct your research while carrying such heavy feelings of guilt?
How do you know me so well? Are you truly just a believer of King Deshret? Or are you the god himself?
That's not important. The important thing is to pass judgment on the Academia and its sages, and to correct their mistakes. If you could provide some assistance in this matter, perhaps it could serve as a form of atonement.
I've actually never believed in the gods, but I've always believed in serendipity.
Your appearance must be a fated opportunity for me to get out of this wretched situation. Please tell me, what can I do for you?
How much do you know about the Sage's current activities?
I was just one of the designers for the masked dream harvest scheme, which is what happened around the Sub-Zeru's festival. But I know very little about the full scope of the overall project. I'd assume that only staff with the highest clearance would have access to those confidential documents. I've just been working
Staff
to meet
like
the Grand
this
Sage's
guy.
specified requirements. However, there's something that's been really bothering me. I heard that a scholar who was previously expelled has returned to the city, and even the sages are still quite wary of him.
Who?
To fight against the Academia, we will need to figure out the nature and the purpose of their work. Is there a way for us to get access to the confidential documents you mentioned?
It should be possible if we're willing to take some risks. After all, I'm an assistant to the Grand Sage, and I've been working on many tasks outside of the project. One thing, though, I won't be able to transfer the documents to you through the Akasha once I get my hands on them. The sages have always closely monitored all activities within the Akasha. Let me see. Let's use the most primitive method. Send someone to pick up the documents tomorrow evening at the Academia entrance.
Yes, the
Academia
old-fashioned
entrance.
way.
Wouldn't that be too
Just
conspicuous?
grab them.
Don't worry about that. I assure you, this won't be a trap.
Better not be.
I'm only suggesting this location because it'll draw more scrutiny for me to leave the Academia again. It'll be safest for me to distract the guards long enough to hand you the documents.
All right, I trust you.
So, if I were to successfully complete this task, would it mean I've atoned for my wrongdoings?
That'll depend on the judgment of the Dendro Archon.
The Dendro Archon. That's right. Her people are the ones we have endangered.
Yeah.
As the God of Wisdom,
And she's
also the one
pissed.
responsible for judging and guiding the scholars. Maybe it's time for me to find a god to believe in.
Just as Nahida predicted, we've managed to bring Sataria to our side. The Traveler's execution was ingenious. She's the one who deserves all the praise. Well, now that we've made plans to meet again tomorrow evening, all we can do is pray for Sataria's mission to go off without a hitch. Pray? But if we're going to pray to the gods, aren't we just praying to you? God of Wisdom and Guardian of the Scholars? No. The truth is the true Guardian of Scholars. I've always believed that. Anyway, let's meet again tomorrow evening at the Adventurers Guild.